This is the Engaged as Fuck podcast.
Our life is dope and we do dope shit.
Welcome to the show.
This is our podcast song.
The Engaged as Fuck podcast. Buckle up, Buttercup.
All right, so you're planning a wedding, which should be fucking awesome.
Right.
But Pinterest is probably like
Oh my God.
messing with your head, right?
So
Like
weird.
so many picture perfect ideas,
Yeah.
so much pressure.
Uh-huh.
How do you
Yeah.
actually make your dream wedding happen
Right.
without
Yeah.
losing your sanity or
Yeah.
like totally going broke?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're diving into today.
You nailed it.
Oh, really?
That's the trap I see so many couples falling into.
Uh-huh.
They think they need to cram every single
Yeah.
Pinterest-worthy trend into their day, and they end up with a wedding that feels more like a generic photo shoot than a celebration of their actual relationship.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's like they're afraid to miss out on some imaginary best wedding ever award.
Exactly.
Wow.
And that's when things get stressful, expensive, and totally lose the personal touch.
Okay, so let's break this down.
Okay.
We've got some intel for you today.
Yeah.
That's going to help you avoid those Pinterest pitfalls and plan a wedding that's actually badass.
Love that.
So first up,
Okay.
DIY hell.
Oh, yeah.
Pinterest makes everything look so damn easy,
Right.
but we all know it can be a total nightmare.
It can be.
What's the deal with that?
Pinterest is the master of illusion.
Really?
What looks like a cute, simple DIY project
Uh-huh.
can quickly turn into a time suck a money pit and a recipe for a mental breakdown.
Okay.
I had a couple who tried to DIY their invitations.
Oh, no.
Ended up spending 3 times as much on replacement supplies after a major printing mishap.
Yeah.
They were stressed, exhausted, and seriously regretting their decision.
Ouch.
Yeah,
So how do you know if DIY is even worth it?
right.
I mean, I love a good craft project, but I also value my sanity.
You got to be brutally honest with yourself about
Mhm.
your skills, your time, and your stress tolerance.
Okay.
If you're not crafty, don't force it. And even if you are, consider the time commitment.
Yeah.
Do you really want to spend your weekends covered in glue and glitter when you could be out having fun with your partner, actually enjoying your engagement?
Right. This is supposed to be a happy time.
Exactly.
Now, the source also talks about the dangers of over-the-top decor.
Okay.
Like, how much is too much?
Yeah.
I'm all for making a statement,
Right.
but I've been to weddings where the decor was so overdone,
Uh-huh.
it was almost suffocating.
Oh, yeah.
Like, is there a line?
It's all about finding the right balance between aesthetics and practicality.
Mm-hmm.
Those epic tablescapes you see on Pinterest might look stunning in photos, but they can be a logistical nightmare and a budget killer in real life.
Yes. Seriously.
Yeah, plus you got to think about venue restrictions.
Wait, hold up. Venue restrictions?
Yeah, you need to check with your venue
Okay.
about any rules or limitations they have regarding decorations.
Mm-hmm.
Some venues are super strict, while others are more relaxed.
Yeah.
It could be anything from fire codes to preserving historical features.
Really?
Imagine planning your dream wedding only to find out you can't hang those fairy lights you bought because the venue has a strict no open flame policy.
Damn, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So do you recommend checking with the venue? Like,
Yeah,
before you even start pinning decor ideas?
It's way easier to plan around restrictions from the get-go
Okay.
than to have your heart set on something that turns out to be a no-go.
Yeah.
Trust me, it'll save you a lot of headaches down the road.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Okay, another thing the source warns against
Okay.
is getting sucked into trends you don't actually care about.
Uh,
Like, how do you know when to say fuck it to a trend?
right.
I mean, some of those trendy ideas are pretty tempting,
Yeah.
but I don't want my wedding to look like everyone else's.
It's simple. If it doesn't feel authentic to you as a couple, ditch it.
Okay.
Don't let the Pinterest algorithm or social media
Right.
dictate your wedding style.
Mm-hmm.
Your wedding should reflect your unique love story, your personalities, your weird quirks, all the shit that makes you two awesome.
Yes.
So if everyone's doing pampas grass and neon signs,
Right.
but you're more into vintage vibes or a rock and roll aesthetic, go for it.
Embrace the weirdness.
Yes.
That's what makes your wedding special.
Exactly.
Speaking of making it personal,
Okay.
the source really emphasizes that aspect.
Yeah.
What are some cool ways you've seen couples inject their personality into their wedding?
Oh, I've seen some seriously creative stuff.
Yeah.
I had a couple who were both huge Star Wars fans, so
Oh.
they had a lightsaber archway instead of a floral arch.
Oh my God.
It was epic.
That's amazing.
Another couple had their dogs as ring bearers,
Oh.
and they even had custom-made outfits for them.
That's so cute.
It was adorable, and it
Oh.
totally reflected their love for their furry family members.
I love how those details tell a story.
Yeah.
It's not just about the aesthetics.
Right.
It's about the meaning behind them.
Exactly.
What other ways have you seen couples personalize their wedding?
One couple had a signature cocktail named after their first date spot.
Okay.
They also had a photo booth with props that reflected their shared hobbies, like
Mhm.
hiking boots and travel maps.
Cool.
Another couple created a playlist that told the story of their relationship
Mm-hmm.
from their first date song to the song they got engaged to.
Yeah.
It was so personal and heartfelt.
Huh.
And it doesn't have to be grand gestures either.
Right.
Sometimes it's the small details that make the biggest impact.
Totally.
I had a couple who used their favorite book quotes as table numbers.
Oh, that's so cute.
It was subtle but so meaningful.
I love that.
Yeah,
It's those little touches that really make a wedding feel unique.
exactly.
Okay, one thing I was stoked to see in the source is the advice to get a planner.
Yes.
I'm all about delegating,
Right.
especially when it comes to something as potentially stressful as wedding planning.
Yeah.
What are the biggest benefits of having a planner
Okay.
beyond just, not having a meltdown?
Honestly, a good wedding planner is worth their weight in gold.
Okay.
They're not just about preventing meltdowns,
Yeah.
though they're definitely pros at that thing.
Yeah.
They're like your wedding ninjas,
Uh,
handling all the logistics,
Mhm.
keeping you on budget,
okay.
and basically making sure your vision comes to life without you having to pull your hair out.
I love that.
They know the ins and outs of the industry. They
Mhm.
can help you navigate vendor contracts and timelines.
Right.
And they've seen every wedding disaster under the sun.
Oh my God.
So they know how to prevent them.
So basically, they're like wedding superheroes.
Pretty much.
They swoop in and save the day.
And they can also be a huge emotional support system.
Oh.
They're there to listen to your concerns, offer advice,
Right.
and help you stay calm amidst the chaos.
Okay.
Yeah, they can be a lifesaver.
Yeah.
Especially if you're the type of person who gets easily overwhelmed by details. Right.
Or if you have a demanding job that doesn't leave much time for wedding planning.
Makes total sense. But what if you're on a tight budget
Right.
and you can't afford a full-blown planner?
There are still options.
Okay.
You can look for planners who offer partial planning services or hourly consultations.
Okay.
That way you can get expert advice on specific aspects of the wedding
Mm-hmm.
without breaking the bank.
That's good to know. Speaking of budget,
Okay.
the source we're diving into today
Yeah.
has some seriously awesome tips
Mm-hmm.
for keeping your spending in check.
Right.
We talked about repurposing decor earlier, which is genius.
Totally.
But what other budget-friendly hacks can you share?
So DIY can be a great way to save money,
Uh-huh.
but you have to be strategic about it.
Right.
Choose projects that are actually doable for your skill level
Okay.
and factor in the cost of materials.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's cheaper to just buy something pre-made
Yeah.
than to spend a fortune on supplies and end up with a Pinterest fail.
So true.
I've definitely fallen into that trap before,
I know, me too.
thinking, oh, I can totally make that.
Uh-huh.
And then realizing I underestimated the time,
Yeah.
the effort, and the cost involved.
It happens to the best of us.
Okay.
Another key is to prioritize your spending.
Okay.
What are the most important elements for you as a couple?
Mhm.
Is it incredible food,
Yeah.
a killer photographer who will capture all the epic moments,
Mm-hmm.
a live band that will keep everyone dancing all night?
Right. Figure out your non-negotiables
Yeah.
and allocate your budget accordingly.
Exactly. You might have to make some compromises in other areas,
Yeah.
but that's okay. It's all about making choices that align with your values and vision.
Right.
For example, if you're foodies
Okay.
and having a delicious meal is a top priority,
Yeah.
you might choose to allocate a larger portion of your budget to catering
Okay.
and scale back on things like flowers or favors.
Smart. And the source also talks about this idea of not letting Pinterest steal your joy,
Oh, that's huge.
which I think is so important
Yeah.
because it's easy to get caught up in the comparison game
Right.
and start feeling like your wedding isn't good enough
Totally.
if it doesn't look exactly like something you saw on Pinterest.
The comparison trap is the worst.
Oh, it's so true.
Social media can make it seem like
Wow.
everyone else is having this flawlessly curated, picture-perfect wedding,
Mm.
which just isn't realistic.
Right.
And when we start comparing ourselves to those images,
Yeah.
it can totally suck the fun out of the planning process.
Totally. It's like we forget
Yeah.
that those perfectly filtered photos
Right.
are just a tiny snapshot of someone's day
Yeah,
and don't reflect the whole experience.
exactly. And behind every seemingly perfect Pinterest wedding,
Uh,
there's probably a ton of stress,
yeah.
last minute hiccups,
Oh, yeah?
and maybe even a few tears.
Oh,
That's
wow.
just the reality of weddings.
Right. No wedding is perfect, no
Oh.
matter how much you plan
Yeah.
or how many Pinterest boards you create.
Hmm.
So how do we avoid falling into that trap of comparison and perfectionism? How do we stay grounded
Yeah.
and focused on what truly matters?
The key is to remember that your wedding is not a competition. It's not about who has the most Instagrammable decor or
Yeah.
the trendiest details. It's about celebrating your love story
Yeah.
in a way that feels authentic to you as a couple.
I love that it's about creating a day
Yes.
that reflects your personalities and values,
Right.
not some generic idea
Yeah,
of what a wedding should be.
exactly. And when you focus on that,
Yeah.
the pressure to be perfect starts to melt away, and you can actually enjoy the process
Right.
of planning something truly special and unique.
So at the end of the day, your guests aren't going to remember
Right.
if your centerpieces were perfectly symmetrical
Mm.
or if your wedding favors matched your color scheme exactly.
Right.
They're going to remember the vibe,
Yes.
the energy,
Ah,
the feeling of love and celebration
Yeah.
that filled the room.
you nailed it. They'll remember the killer dance party,
Yeah.
the hilarious toasts,
Yeah.
the heartfelt moments that made them laugh and cry.
Right.
Those are the things that make a wedding unforgettable,
Yeah.
not the
Yeah.
perfectly styled details.
So basically, ditch the pressure to be Pinterest perfect
Exactly.
and focus on creating an experience that feels authentic and joyful
Yes.
for you and your guests.
Exactly. And remember, it's okay to say fuck it to traditions or trends that don't resonate with you.
Right.
This is your day,
Yep.
so make it your own.
Preach. All right, so we've talked about the dangers of Pinterest overload, the importance of staying true to yourself,
Right.
and the power of a good wedding planner.
Yeah.
What's the one piece of advice you would give to couples starting to feel overwhelmed by the whole wedding planning shebang?
Focus on the love story.
Oh, yeah.
That's the heart of it all.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
All the details and the planning
Mhm.
should ultimately enhance your day, not define it.
Exactly. Think about why you're getting married in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Focus on that love,
Yeah.
that connection,
Okay.
and let that be your guiding light throughout the whole process.
I love that it's so easy to get caught up in the stress
I know.
and forget what it's really all about.
It happens to the best of us.
Okay.
But remember, your wedding is a celebration, not a performance.
Right.
It's about creating a meaningful experience for yourselves and your guests.
Mm-hmm.
So take a deep breath,
Okay.
ditch the pressure,
Yeah.
and focus on what truly matters.
Mm.
Celebrating your love story in a way that feels authentic to you.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about making the wedding, like
Yeah.
about you as a couple,
Mm-hmm.
but you're also like throwing a big ass party,
Yes.
right? How do you make sure your guests have a kick ass time too?
Yeah.
What are we thinking here?
It's a party,
Yeah.
and you want your guests to have a blast.
Right.
So it's about creating an experience that not only reflects your love story, but also makes your guest feel like they're a part of something special.
So how do you strike that balance between making it personal
Yeah.
and also like making sure everyone is having a good time?
It's all about being thoughtful and intentional with your choices.
Mm-hmm.
Think about the things that you and your partner love to do together and
Yeah.
find ways to incorporate those into the wedding
Yeah.
in a way that your guests can also enjoy.
Okay.
For example, if you're both music lovers,
Yeah.
create a killer playlist that reflects your taste,
Uh-huh.
but also gets people dancing.
Right. Like no one wants to be stuck listening to
Right.
obscure death metal at a wedding.
Exactly.
Unless that's like the couple's absolute jam and everyone knows it's coming.
Read the room, people.
Yeah.
It's your day.
Right.
But you also want your guests to have a good time.
Right. Of course.
If you're big foodies,
Yeah.
focus on creating a delicious and memorable meal that people will be raving about
Okay.
long after the wedding.
Okay. So delicious food, good music.
Yeah.
Those are solid starting points.
Yes.
What else can couples do to make their wedding a
Mhm.
memorable experience for everyone?
Think about incorporating fun and interactive elements.
Okay.
Photo booths are always a hit,
Yeah.
especially if you have props that tie into your wedding theme
Yeah.
or your personalities as a couple.
Okay.
You could also set up lawn games,
Yeah.
have a signature cocktail station,
Okay.
Or even hire a live artist
Yeah.
to create a painting of the reception.
Oh, that's cool.
It's all about getting creative and thinking outside the box.
I love those ideas. It's
Yeah.
about creating those moments
Yeah.
that people can connect with and share.
Yeah.
Right? Something beyond just like sitting at a table and eating cake.
Exactly. You want to create an atmosphere
Mm-hmm.
that feels celebratory, engaging, and a little bit unexpected.
Right.
And remember, a little bit of personalization goes a long way.
Yeah.
Incorporate details that reflect your love story,
Okay.
your hobbies, or inside jokes
Hmm.
that your guests will appreciate.
Yeah.
It's those little touches that make a wedding feel truly unique and memorable.
Totally agree. So we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
Any final words of wisdom for our listeners
Mm-hmm.
who are ready to ditch the Pinterest pressure
Yes.
and plan a wedding that's authentically badass? What are the key takeaways
Okay.
you want to leave them with?
First and foremost, remember that your wedding is a celebration of your love,
Okay.
not a performance or a competition.
Okay.
Don't get so caught up in the details
Yeah.
that you lose sight of what truly matters,
Yeah.
the commitment you're making to each other.
Right.
Focus on creating an experience that feels meaningful and joyful for you and your partner.
That's so important. Don't let the pressure
Yes.
to have a perfect wedding
Right.
steal your joy.
Yeah.
Embrace the imperfections,
Yes.
the unexpected moments,
Uh-huh.
and the things that make your relationship unique.
And remember, it's okay to ask for help. Whether it's from a wedding planner,
Yeah.
a trusted friend,
Okay.
or even just your partner,
Mhm.
don't be afraid to delegate tasks
Right.
or lean on others for support.
Totally.
Planning a wedding is a lot of work,
Yeah.
and there's no shame in admitting you need a little help.
Absolutely. And at the end of the day, have fun.
Yes.
This is a time to celebrate your love.
Yes.
So enjoy every moment, even the stressful ones.
Exactly.
Look back on this time with fond memories,
Right.
not regrets.
Beautifully said so to all our badass couples out there.
Yes.
Congratulations on your engagement.
Woohoo.
Go forth and plan a wedding that reflects your unique love story
Okay.
and celebrates the amazing journey you're embarking on together.
Hell yeah. We're here to
Good.
cheer you on every step of the way.
Yes.
Ditch the Pinterest pressure.
Right.
Embrace your own style.
Exactly.
And remember, a badass wedding is one that celebrates your love
Yeah.
in a way that feels authentically you.
Right. That.
Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.
Cheers to that.
We'll catch you on the next episode.
That was our show.
Our life is dope and we do dope
The
shit.
Engaged as Fuck podcast. The song is over.
Buckle up, buttercup.
Hope you liked it. Hope you liked it. The Engaged as Fuck